Hi and welcome to the Homeopathy Health Show. I'm Atiq Ahmed Bhatti, a fourth generation homeopath with over 25 years of professional experience and practice in this field of healing. The Homeopathy Health Show is the online voice of homeopathy around the world, promoting and raising awareness of this truly unique system of healing, which is suitable for all ages, young and old. Every week I invite guests from the world of homeopathy to come and share their experiences, their work, offer insights, and essentially talk all things homeopathy. Why not visit www.liketreatslike.co.uk and click on the radio and podcast button to listen to the latest episodes. So let's begin today's show here on UK Health Radio, the world's #1 talk health radio. Hi and welcome to another episode of the Homeopathy Health Show here on the UK Health Radio Network, and I'm your host Atiq Ahmed Bhatti, and I tell you what I have for you today. I have somebody I'm a big fan of, to be honest, because of some of the things that they have done as far as helping students and practitioners memorize keynotes or the signatures of homeopathic remedies. So I have Dr. Nimesh Shukla with me today on the Homeopathy Health Show. He's a full-time professor at the Chandaben Mohanbhai Patel Homeopathic Medical College in Mumbai. He's also the head of department and professor in medicine. And he's got 42 years, yes, you heard me right, 42 years of teaching experience and 42 years of practice in homeopathy. And if that wasn't enough, he is also a homeopathic physician to numerous Bollywood celebrities. So technically you could say he's a celebrity as well. And as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, he's an absolute celebrity. So Dr. Nimesh Shukla, thank you so much for joining me today on the Homeopathy Health Show.
Thank you for a nice introduction.
No problem at all. Now, you are known on social media recently more so for your episodes called The Power of Five. And I just love that. You know, I could say it very deeply as well, the power of five, but I won't. But it's your way of teaching students and practitioners alike on the key signatures of homeopathic remedies. And I just find that genius because it's so easy to remember. The way that you present is it's beautifully authoritative, let's say. And you know, that comes across and you actually remember because you've made it so simple. You can remember the remedies and never forget them. Nat Mure, secretive, exposure to the sun, headache, away from others. It's so beautifully put together. So Dr. Nimesh, I would actually, today's episode is very much just on that. So the Homeopathy Health Show is very much about imparting knowledge. So I will pass over to you, and please, you are a teacher of so many years. I don't think I need to ask you anything today, and just let you talk for the next 45 minutes.
Okay. I will start from my student life.
Yes.
When I joined this college, in fact, before I joined this college, I was knowing about homeopathy. Now I myself used to take homeopathy. Then I joined this college. And see what I saw that time, the most difficult subject was Matra Medica. But I don't know, but from the day one, I had developed a liking for Matra Medica. I used to enjoy Matra Medica. But enjoyment is not very sufficient. Most important to remember the drugs. I will be very honest. I was a very average student. But I had a lot of aptitude for Matra Medica and organon. So that time also, as a student also, I was trying to remember the drug by making some mnemonics, doing some different method to remember the drug, but that was only for the exam purpose. Then when I passed out, by the time my knowledge of Matra Medica was improved, as your friend Dr. Farooq Master, he's my mentor. He's my friend and mentor, everything.
I know him very well, and he's been on the show, as you know. So
So I owe a lot of things to him. Then myself, I'm a creative person. I can write. In the college, in the school, I used to do a lot of dramas and all these things. So when I become a teacher, I thought okay, there should be some different method of teaching because duty of teacher is to create interest in the subject. And once I create an interest in the subject, they can start reading it, which was done by Farooq Master to me. I was thinking how to teach. From that time onwards, during that time also, when I was starting my career, initially I was in the pharmacy department and I used to teach Matra Medica. And in 2-3 years, what I observed that in class of 100 students, 10% students are genius. They don't require college actually. They are very genius. They are outstanding students. Another 10% student, they are also outstanding, but they are standing outside the class. They don't attend the lectures. Now, remaining 80% students, they are average or slightly above average student. Being myself was a average or above average student, I focused on that average and above average student to make them bright by teaching them in a simple way. The first drug which I taught, I compared sulfur with a volcano and lava. I think if I'm not mistaken, there was one author, some Dr. Miller or something. I read his book and he was using this method somewhat like that. And from that day, that idea clicked. Let me teach in a different way so that student will remember the Matra Medica and they will generate interest in Matra Medica. So I started teaching in a different way. I'm a very successful, I should not praise myself, but I'm a very successful Matra Medica teacher. From the day one till date, I never use any tools except chalk and the whiteboard or the blackboard that time. No overhead slides, no slides, and now no PowerPoint. I could talk for 2 hours without PowerPoint. And every time I used to take new drug, I used to read about the common name, the property of that plant, property of that mineral. And from that, I used to get some idea and I used to teach them so that student get easily, they can remember it.
Right.
For a simplest example, Helleborus. Now, if you read Helleborus from Phatak Matra Medica, where Dr. Phatak had mentioned clearly, from the name Hell, you can remember the drug. For me, that one line is sufficient to make a further thing. And slowly, as to think and as to mind that collection of different drugs become more and more and more. Then another very important, what I had seen in Matra Medica, like in medicine, we do a differential diagnosis. Like, because that is the most important thing in differential diagnosis. Then you come to the conclusion to a provisional or final diagnosis. In Matra Medica, we have to do compare and contrast, comparison. Now, this comparison is like a differential diagnosis of Matra Medica. What I had seen, when you are in first year, you know 90 drugs. Second year, another 50 drugs. Third year, another 50 drugs. By the end of fourth year, you will know around 250, 300 drugs. But that is a vertical growth, vertical knowledge. Number of drugs are increasing. You may know 300 drugs, but that is not sufficient for the practice. You should also have a horizontal knowledge. Means vertical knowledge means number of drugs. Horizontal knowledge means comparison. So what I used to do, for example, one symptoms and 10 drugs with similar symptoms and try to differentiate. While doing differentiate also, I always give some example so that they can remember. I can give one example. For example, arsenic alb and a sickle core. They are complementary with each other. I read somewhere that near the arsenic factory, all the plants were destroyed. No plants can grow near the arsenic factory, except sickle core or ergot. Therefore, they are complementary with each other and they are having very similar symptoms. This is given somewhere. And from that, I got that idea. I used my creativity. Now, the key symptoms of both arsenic and sickle core is a modality. As you know, arsenic patient burning better by hot application or better by covering, while sickle core burning better by cold application or better by uncovering. I used my creativity. I told the student, very simple, arsenic is manufactured inside the factory, which is cover. It is not in the open air. While sickle core grows outside the factory, that is in open air. There is no covering. Therefore, arsenic patient, better by covering. Sickle core patient, not better. Better by non-covering or uncovering. So some symptoms I get, some clue I'll get, and then I use my creativity. Many a time while traveling, it just strikes me, and I try to apply to it so that the average student will easily remember the drug. I'd say that Matra Medica is a little difficult subject to remember many times. People don't have that aptitude, they cannot remember. So I want to create that aptitude in them. Now, regarding this power of 5, as I'm teaching since last 42 years, I had seen thousands of students. As years are passing, students have many options after passing homeopathy. So they are not much interested to remember, to get the knowledge. They just want to pass. And for the pass, they used to do some mugging up, some few symptoms from here and there. But that also sometimes it is not correct because they get it from their friend, senior friend. So I was thinking one day, I was in the OPD only. Like in Organon, we said Organon in homeopathy is a three-legged stool. Mind, body, and soul, like that. So I thought, in Matra Medica also there should be some 3 or 5 points which is the most important for that drug. And according to, initially I thought of 3 only, but then I found 3 is too less. And I choose 5 number as according to Hindu mythology, 5 number is very auspicious. 5 number, when the 5 fingers, when comes together, it makes the fist. It's a power. I thought of 5 symptoms and gave the name power of 5.
Brilliant. Gene, that's so good indeed, you know. Please do carry on.
But I want to make homeopathy more simplified. I always believe homeopathy is not a rocket science because homeopathy based on nature's law of cure. Anything is based on nature's law, it cannot be difficult or complicated. We made it complicated. So I decided to make it simplified, and therefore I gave the final title Homeopathy Simplified, Power of 5, so that each and every student can practice homeopathy. See, I always believe to practice homeopathy, you should not treat cases like cancer and all these things in the initial days. I will be very honest, till date, today also, if any cancer patient comes to me, I straight refer to Farooq Master. I only help them to get an appointment. If it's affordable, in the private clinic. If it's not affordable, to his charitable clinic. But I say it is not my cup of tea because he is much better in that. As a teacher, I also believe that I am not a god, that I should know everything. Even in the class, if some student asks me, And if I don't know the answer, I will say, I don't know, it may be there. Or I have to refer it. Because as you know, Vatra Medica is so vast. Because when I teaching them, whatever I teach them, it should be with full authority. In fact, few weeks back only, few students came to me and told me, sir, you are the only teacher, you are telling that you don't know, you have to refer it. So we feel so nice. Okay, you are also like us only. Now, again, come to power of five. And that day onwards, I decided, okay, let me do something. I'm a very, very poor in social media. There is one funny thing how I came into social media. I'm sharing with you. It may be, should I share it?
Absolutely. Of course. This will be very interesting to know.
Totally fact it is. My wife is also sitting here only. She's also listening. One day, my wife started putting reel on Instagram. To get one more like, she downloaded the Instagram and started for me. And because see, once the wife said you can't say no. Okay, you have to do one like. So I used to see her reel, and she used to put all comedy reel. And I used to do liking. Now for me, Instagram was like some comedy thing. I was never aware that Instagram can share the knowledge also. I came on Instagram totally by fluke. Then one day I was taking a lecture in the class, and I asked some difficult question. I always keep my lecture very interactive. I ask them the question and I give them an incentive. I give them chocolate. Depend on the how difficult question, I give them chocolate. 1, 2, 3, sometimes some jackpot chocolate. The question will be so difficult, so difficult. I put 50 chocolates. 99%, 99.99% they cannot answer only. The similar difficult question I asked in the class. One student gave the answer immediately. And she was she was a above average student, maybe bright student, but I never knew her much. I was shocked how she gave this answer. I asked her, who taught you? I never taught you this thing in the OPD also. Instantly she said, sir, from Instagram. What? Instagram? Well, sir, I saw one reel, and that reel, same thing was shown. I will tell you what it was. It was regarding about bryonia. Now in bryonia, there is one rare symptoms. Bryonia is a very good drug for cracked lips of old smokers. Normally, we never think of it, bryonia. From that, I got the idea, Instagram can share the knowledge. I went to the OPD. I was teaching them. One of my interns said, sir, I want to take a video. He took the video. Then said, let's start Instagram. And okay, we'll start Instagram. The first video we put regarding first introduction, all this thing. And first, I think the second or third video I put was tabacum for the cramp in the calf muscles. By that time, I got that idea. Let's start that Power of 5 series. Because it was there in my back of my mind. And it started. Every time certain drugs I had already taught them in the past, but many a time I have to make it something. Well, Like, for example, I think I put tarantula. A tarantula, only thing I was knowing about that story, that spider is always in the music. But then when I read on the Google, I got so many things and I made it. And I tried to give all important five symptoms, which is should be must. If it is there, just lock it. Out of five, even three is there, you will get the result. And the birth of Power of Five started like this. And with the God's grace, it is doing very well. And I'm happy that people are liking it and enjoying it.
Yeah,
Because when I
I think it's brilliant. Everybody who hasn't seen it, please do have a look because it's just really it's a really easy way to learn some of the depth that is contained in the remedies. I think it's fabulous.
think else, this is the main story about Power of Five. I want to make it homeopathy very simplified so that each and every can remember and can practice homeopathy. So many times those who are practitioner, see, they know Matra Medica, but sometimes you require little push. As I always tell, okay, I am not only a homeopathic teacher, I am also a coach. Teacher impart the knowledge, while coach take out the things which is already there within you. So whenever I'm sitting in the OPD, when I find someone who's very good homeopathy or who are having aptitude of homeopathy, I can make out, this girl or boy can do well in homeopathy. So whatever thing which is inside, I just bring them out and give them confidence. So that I want that homeopathy should continue because in India, the homeopathy is quite good, but it should become still better and better and better and better. One more thing, many a time in the my Power of I always talk about potency also. Now, posology is one of the most difficult thing in homeopathy. It comes with the experience more than the knowledge, theory knowledge. So wherever possible, I also talk about potency, which is very, very important. Now, if you give 30 instead of 200, medicine will definitely act, but it will act partially. So what I had seen in my practice, I will share that. And I was also very, very fortunate to sit with many, many homeopaths. I started assisting homeopathic doctor from my second year. I remember the first doctor I said was Dr. Mrs. Mehta. She was an MBBS, and she did some pediatric course. She was a pediatrician by profession, practicing homeopathy, but only on clinical Matra Medica and more of a pediatric cases. Then I sat with one Dr. Dave. He was passed from Calcutta. He used to start his practice in the morning 6:30. Morning 6:30 to 8:30. Only 2 hours of practice, 30, 40 patients, only on Allen's keynote. So I used to sit and I learn a lot. Then, of course, in the college, I was with Dr. Anil Bhatia, who was our principal also. I learned a lot from him. Then, for 5 years, I was with Farooq Master, and he trained me to become a successful homeopath. Even I went to Calcutta with Farooq only, with Dr. B.N. Chakravarti, Bholenath Chakravarti. It was amazed to see him practicing. Some 500, 600 patient in morning OPD, that is charitable OPD. And in the evening, in his private, is to see 250 patients, out of which 40, 50 patients are new cases. And is to finish 200, 250 patient OPD within 4 hours. It was a typical Calcutta style practice. And I believe it, though, because I learned that method. It is the easiest method to practice.
What do talk about that? What makes it easy? What is involved?
See, mainly they practicing on keynote. They try to find out PQRS symptoms from the patient. Now, it is little difficult initially. Your knowledge of Matra Medica should be very, very good. But once you know that method, you can practice easily with a good result and a fast result and a quick case taking. I also believe that every case is a different case. It is like a cricket. In cricket, every ball, every pitch is different. Every case, suppose any chronic case is there, you have to take the case in detail and then you have to prescribe. Every time you cannot do on keynote. But in an acute case, this method is very good. And I believe if you do a homeopathic general practice, see, consultation is different, and the homeopathic general practice where you will see acute cases. If you do a homeopathic general practice, you will get very fast result and you will settle in your life very easily. So for that, I already made few lectures on homeopathy general practice. I may very soon going to start that series on homeopathic general practice, where quick prescription in an acute disease with a differentiation. One condition, 5 drug. Why Belladonna? Why not Brianna? So that if you give fast result, you will get more patient. In general practice, normally in 2 hours, they see 30, 40 patients. If you do like a detailed case taking, which required for the chronic case, of course, in 2 hours, you may see 3, 4 patients. Now, out of these 4 patients, you may get result in 2 patients. While in general practice, if you see 30, 40 patients, there also, if you consider 50%, if 15 people are better, they will send you more patients. Means there will be a multiplication of number of patients. So this is my power of 5 also, it is connected to homeopathic general practice. I know there's one doctor, Dr. Rohit Mehta, he was a MBBS and practicing homeopathy, but he's to practicing homeopathy general practice. I had an opportunity to sit with him also. So all these things, whatever there in my subconscious, I would like to share with the future generation so that homeopathy will remain alive.
That's it's I must commend you on your humility as well, and that says a lot about any practitioner. I would actually really want to ask you. We've got about 10 minutes remaining for this part. We've got a few parts of this as far as the power of 5 is concerned, but do share maybe 2 or 3 remedies as far as remembering them through this power of 5 system.
2 or 3 remedies.
2 or 3, or maybe just one even. It's totally up to you.
I will share with sulfur. Now, Lava, if you do the chemical analysis of lava contain two things, sulfur and silicon. As you know, lava is very, very hot. Number one, power of 5, number one of sulfur, hot patient. Sulfur is a hot patient. Number two, lava remain dormant, or a volcano remain passive for many, many years. But it can erupt anytime. It can become active anytime. Now in sulfur, it is manifested by suppressed eruption, and when you give sulfur, old eruption comes out. Therefore, suppressed eruption. Number three, lava is yellowish in color. Therefore, all the discharges of sulfur are yellowish in color. Lava is very acrid. It can burn your body. Similarly, the discharge of sulfur is not only yellowish, it is also very acrid. When volcano erupt, the lava which is inside the ground, it comes up. It's going up, and then it comes out. Therefore, in sulfur, ascendingness of the symptoms. Ascendingness of symptoms. Why? Because lava which is there down in the ground, which comes up and then comes out from the volcano. Next, when the lava comes out, when it becomes cold, the surface becomes uneven. The surface becomes uneven. Therefore, in sulfur, skin has an uneven surface. That is, there is an eczema, there is psoriasis, a lot of skin problem. Now, some volcano has some periodicity. Every 6 months, every 2 years, every 5 years, they start erupting. They become active. Therefore, marked periodicity in sulfur. Volcano is empty, hollow. Therefore, all gone empty sensation, or patient is very, very hungry, especially at 11 a.m. When the volcano is erupting, you can't stand there. You have to run away from there. Therefore, standing is the worst position for the sulfur. Lava is very, very hot, and the enemy of hot thing is water. Therefore, in sulfur patient, aversion to bathing. Most of the sulfur important symptoms are over.
It's wonderful. So we are actually at the end of this episode. But Dr. Nimesh Shukla, we're going to continue in part 2, and we're going to talk about a few more remedies. And who knows, it may well go into part 3. Who knows, it might go into part 4, 5, and 6. Yeah? Or shall we do 5, just to make sure it's the power of 5 episodes?
Okay, sure, no problem.
It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show, and I thank you so much for giving up your time. And we'll speak again, of course, in part 2. I do hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of the Homeopathy Health Show. Please do support the show by clicking follow on my socials. Remember, the more exposure the podcast receives, the better for homeopathy around the world. You can find me on Instagram by searching for @like_treatslike, and on both Facebook and TikTok by searching for @like_treatslike. So let's promote the voice of homeopathy on radio and podcast around the world together. Don't forget to visit me online at www.liketreatslike.co.uk and click on the radio and podcast tab. Here you'll be able to see all the guests that have joined me on the show so far, and of course, you can stream on demand the latest episode to your mobile, tablet or PC. Until next time, stay safe and take care.